Welcome and thank you for joining me. I am Tina Weiss, your Healthcare Coordinator. Today I will be discussing the 2019 Great American Smokeout with an emphasis on vaping and lung cancer screening. Despite all the research on how unhealthy nicotine and smoking is, it remains the leading cause of preventable disease and deaths in the United States. Around $170 billion is spent annually in direct medical costs. However, with the latest vaping crisis, I feel that number will rise significantly. Currently, there are still 34 million people who smoke combustible cigarettes. This number has been decreasing. However, there are 3.6 million people under the age of 25 that currently use e-cigarettes, and this number has been steadily rising. So what are e-cigarettes and what is the draw? E-cigarettes are electronic devices that heat a liquid to produce an aerosol that then gets inhaled into the lungs. Some look like regular cigarettes, cigars, or pipes, while some look like USB flash drives, pens, or other everyday items. They go by many different names such as e-cigs, mods, vapes, or Juuls. There are many different brands, and they come in flashy colors and many different flavors that often appeal to the younger ages. There is a misconception that vaping is not the same as smoking cigarettes. Therefore, it is safer and much more socially acceptable. Here is a photo of the current vaping products, and as you can see, they would not necessarily stand out as being unusual or suspicious. So is vaping safer than smoking? We know that combustible cigarettes have 7,000 chemicals, with at least 70 of those being cancer-causing. So let's take a look at the e-cigarette. While they may have fewer chemicals, so far 60 chemical compounds have been identified in the e-liquids. This includes heavy metals such as nickel, lead, tin, ultrafine particles, and cancer-causing agents such as formaldehyde and diacetyl. Most of the e-cigarette liquids do contain nicotine, and some have a very high concentration of nicotine. It is difficult to measure how much nicotine you are actually using with the e-cigarette system, and therefore you could be getting more nicotine than you think. One of the newest trends in vaping is the use of nicotine salt. Nicotine salt is a type of nicotine that forms naturally in leaf tobacco, and is generally considered to be a more stable form of nicotine versus the traditional freebase nicotine used in most e-cigarettes. It is popular because it does not cause the throat burn that most cigarettes and vapes do. However, it is a much higher dose of nicotine, which can run as high as 50 milligrams versus the average 12 milligrams in a combustible cigarette. So safer than smoking does not necessarily mean safe. Vaping has become a popular way for people to consume marijuana. It is less odorous and more discreet than smoking. About 24% of students that have reported using marijuana say they use what's called a marijuana concentrate, which is different than the traditional plant cannabis. With the concentrate, it can be mixed with foods, drinks, or smoked using an e-cigarette. The concentrate looks like butter or honey and is referred to by several different names such as butter, honey oil, or dabs. The concentrate has a level of THC as high as 40 to 80%, while the plant cannabis has a THC level of 20%. There have been a number of studies that show THC and nicotine affect the brain, which is still developing until about the age of 25, almost to the point of rewiring the brain and showing cognitive changes. Still, there is much that is unknown. To date, there have been 450 cases of severe lung illnesses in 33 different states, with 6 deaths confirmed. These do not seem to have an infectious agent identified and are believed to be chemical exposure, all with a history of vaping. These numbers are on the rise. There have been instances of teens diagnosed with popcorn lung, which is a condition that damages your lungs' smallest airways and thought to be caused by diacetyl, which is a chemical compound found in the e-liquid. There have been numerous reports of collapsed lungs, as well as injuries to the face, hands, and legs from e-cigarettes exploding. Here we have a photo of such an accident, where this person had the e-cigarette explode near the face and received puncture wounds, lacerations, loss of teeth, and several fractures. Lung cancer is the most common cancer in the world. More people die each year from lung cancer than breast, colon, and prostate cancer combined. Smoking is the most common cause of lung cancer. Early detection leads to better treatment options and a better survival rate. The standard for screening is a low-dose CAT scan. The scan uses a smaller amount of radiation, but is able to detect lung abnormalities as small as a grain of rice. The Aetna Employee Health Insurance covers a low-dose CAT scan for those that meet the following criteria. They must be asymptomatic, be a current or former smoker between the ages of 55 to 80. They must have a 30-pack per year smoking history. And if they're a former smoker, they must have quit within the last 15 years. The low-dose CAT scan is offered at the Bridgewater facility for no cost to employees if you meet their criteria. If you fit this scenario, reach out to your primary care physician or pulmonologist to discuss your options for screening. Some common symptoms of lung cancer include persistent cough that worsens over time, coughing up blood, chest pain or pain to the shoulder or back, loss of appetite, weight loss, fatigue, persistent lung infections that do not clear up, hoarseness or wheezing. Some helpful hints for tobacco and vaping cessation can include making the decision to quit and set a date. Come up with a plan, such as when you quit, will you use a nicotine replacement treatment? Will you use counseling? Will you use both? Changing up your schedule. Find your support system. Tell your family and friends your plan. Replace the craving with a hobby or exercise or use hard candy or gum. Use the 4 Ds. If a craving hits, delay for about 10 minutes. That is usually how long the cravings can last. Try some deep breathing exercises. Drink some water or use distraction to get your mind off the craving. Don't forget to reward yourself for hitting goals, even small ones, like throwing away your ashtrays and your lighters. Don't give up. For many people, it takes several attempts to quit. The following medications are FDA approved for smoking cessation. E-cigarettes have not been FDA approved for smoking cessation. For the employee plan, these medications are covered at 100% with a prescription under the preventive drug list. There is a 180-day limit per 12 months. Here are some resources that can assist you with smoking cessation as well as vaping cessation. You may also reach out to your primary care physician for assistance and more information. If you have any additional questions or would like more information, you may reach out to me at 908-806-8222, extension 2981, or email at tweiss@hhsnj.org. The Great American Smokeout is November 21st, so if you smoke or vape or know someone who does and would like to join us in the fight to wipe out tobacco smoking and now the new battle against vaping, please reach out and pledge to stop for the day. You never know when it could lead to much more. Again, thank you for joining me, and if you complete the quick quiz that follows this video, you will be qualified for your 5 wellness points if you currently take out the Aetna Employee Health Insurance. Again, I appreciate your time.